Right, what we're doing today, we are going to change the pads and discs on the Sprinter Motorhome. Now, it's not a complex job, pretty straightforward, but what I'm interested in is checking the pads out, because I think what has happened is the brake material has actually come away off the pad. On braking you can hear it move about. Once, you know, it'll sort of like get stable and you'll brake and you'll hear quite a thud, bang, and that is the brake material moving about on the disc. Discs have got corroded as well, so they need replacing, so we're going to set about jacking it up and replacing those. Just get the studs loose before we jack up. We'll get it jacked up. Right, we've got the jack in place on a stout piece of wood, because we're on gravel here. The jacking point, let's get in and show you, is the front of the vehicle on a Sprinter. Just there, look. Pretty straightforward. Using the standard jack, quite adequate. I've chocked the back as well, the back wheel. You never know. Nice to be safe, really. One wheel off. Okay, the hex bolts are located in here, so it's a case of taking that plug out, which keeps the crud off the end of the hex bolt, and it's a Allen key in there to loosen the studs out. That's one off, or should I say one undone. Hopefully the bottom one will go the same. Bingo. The good thing is those covers do make sure that the Allen head is obviously nice and clean, and you know you're going to make good contact with your Allen key. So it's just a case of taking them out and supporting it, the caliper. That's both studs out. Don't look in bad condition. Just getting this retaining clip off. There's obviously a knack to taking these off. Somebody who's doing this all day long, they'll do it in a minute, but it's just a case of springing that forward and out she comes. Right, I'm ready with my bungee cord to support the caliper when it comes away. I'm reckoning that these pads are just going to drop to bits the way they're sounding. They're not very clever at all. That's it, that's the caliper off. I'm just going to hold that up somewhere. Right, I was expecting the pad to have come away, but I didn't expect that. Basically it's come away and it's just left that little bit, look. So that has been just like that, I think. Probably like that. So we've only had half of the actual brake material on there, and the inside just non-existent, down to metal. So these are desperate to be replaced, and obviously we're going to replace the disc while we're on. Right, the brake carrier must come off, and it's a 19mm top and bottom. Now they were quite tight, it took some shifting, but we've got it moving. Right, that's the brake carrier off. Like I say, those bolts, they were yeah, quite tight. Okay, we've now got to get this stud out, which is a T40 Torx, just in there. Now obviously that's going to be messing about turning, so what I've done, I've put a couple of bolts, studs back in, that's held it while I've been able to get that in. I've managed to undo it, so that's helped, just get a bar in. There's maybe a different way of doing it, but that's how I've done it. I'll just give that a crack with the hammer, just to loosen it off. No bother, there was no drama taking that off, loosening that off. So that's your disc off. Right, we're just going to give that hub a quick wire brush up. I don't suppose it's critical, but I'm going to be taking it off again when it's to be replaced, when this disc is to be replaced, so we might as well make a good job of it. Right, I'm just going to smear a bit of this metal-free permanent lubricant for disc brakes on. Same again, it's probably not critical, but it's just going to help us next time we have this disc off. Just going to offer the new disc up. Looking a bit better. Alright, that's the stud back in to hold the disc on. I'm just going to put that bar on as well, just to make sure, but it can't go anywhere I don't suppose, but just to make sure I've got it nicely tight. Right, we're back on with the brake caliper, carrier should I say. We've got that quick wire brush up. I don't suppose there's maybe a great need to do that, but same again, I suppose it's good maintenance. Right, I guess we've all got our ways of pushing the piston back in the caliper, but I find this G-clamp with the old, what's left of the old pad, just covering the hole and just wind it in, and that does the job for me. As easy as that. That should be far enough in to get the new pads in. While I've got the wheel off, it gives me opportunity to give the wheel a good clean on the inside, as it's an alloy. It's got a bit grafted, so no harm in giving it a good clean while we've got it off on the inside. Won't get it all off, but get a good bit of it off. Right, we've got the new pads, we've got the outer in place look. Now I've just popped a bit of that lubricant just there and there, just to make it easier for them to come out again when it's time to be replaced. And the inside one has got those lugs on, so that will push in to the caliper into there. They'll just slot in, hopefully. Alright, so we've got the inside pad secure, and it's just a case of popping the caliper back on and getting the two pins, the Allen pins, sliders, back in position. I'm just going to put some lubricant on these pins so they slide a bit easier. Right, that's the pins thread started, so it's just a case of tightening those up and putting those dust caps on to stop all the muck getting in. So pretty straightforward now. Those are the dust caps. Don't forget to pop them on. This here is the wear indicator. That should bring on the light to tell you that the pads are getting low, but they don't always work. But yeah, that needs pushing onto the pad. When that gets low enough to make contact, it earths and brings on the light. Just got this clip to put on, which goes like that basically, tucked under there, there and there, and into those two holes. Pretty straightforward to put back in. That's that clip back in position. Was a bit of a pain to get in, but got it clipped in. Okay, so tightening this up now. Get it lowered off the jack and then get the big bar on, just give it its final tightness. Right, we've taken the motorhome for a test drive, no problems at all. A thing to do obviously when you've changed pads and had the calipers pushed in is just before you set off, I think it's recommended just to make sure that you pump the brakes just to make up that extra space, fill the gap in the caliper, just pull it up a bit so that you've got a bit of braking from start. But yeah, both done is that. And when I got back, I don't suppose it matters, but just felt each caliper, make sure they weren't red hot, make sure they weren't binding or anything, no noises, no clunky noises. So yeah, that's a job well done is that. But I'm amazed of the condition of the pads. The discs, yeah, not too bad. Yeah, they needed replacing, but not too bad. But when you look at the pads, they're in a sorry state. Blocks just disintegrated. So all I can think of is, because of the age of the van and the little mileage it's done, they're probably from new, and they're nearly 20 years old. Not heavy braking is done in a motorhome, so you're not going to go through that many pads. But at that mileage, I dare say those are the original. But yeah, we're good now, so that's a job well done. Probably saved about £400 there. So yeah, thanks for watching.